Family, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the journey. We're about to be taking a look at Tool's song Third Eye from the Anima album. Listen, the Anima album almost didn't come out. I mean, in the 90s, apparently they're going through this crazy legal battle with Zoo Entertainment, their record label. And it's a tumultuous time, too, because not only is that happening over, who has control and contractual stuff and who's entitled to what, they didn't even know that the album would even come out. It was like they hit a dry spell. At the same time, Maynard is starting to get weird in the best possible way, like turning kind of more into the Maynard we know now, with all the conceptual art and the spooky kind of psychological visuals. These were kind of the seeds that would eventually become a perfect circle. So before I do these tracks, I kind of want to do a little bit of research into the background, into kind of what life was like for the band leading up to this point, just to give us some more of kind of the energy, right? And this sets a background to me too of why there is such a grudge against what they perceive as like greed and corruption and the lack of an understanding of oneness. So without any further ado, Tool is going to cook. Please cook, sir.
See, I think drugs have done some good things for us. I really do. And if you don't believe drugs have done good things for us, do me a favor. Go home tonight, take all your albums, all your tapes, and all your CDs and burn them. Because you know what? The musicians who made all that great music that's enhanced your lives throughout the years,
Great.
real fucking high on drugs.
Family, these are facts. Which, before we continue, leave it in the comments if you think that drugs have done, are a net positive on society or a net negative. I think when you use drugs to escape problems, drugs are just going to kind of throw those problems back in your face in an amplified way to where you become a drug abuser and things like that, But I'm definitely a fan of Terence McKenna as it pertains to kind of the power of mind-altering substances. Pardon me. Guys, you hear that? Such strange and powerful.
On acid realize that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There's no such thing as death. Life is only a dream and we're the imagination of ourselves. Here's Tom with the weather.
He just dropped a crazy mind-altering truth bomb and then says, "Here's Tom with the weather." And guys, that kind of is a salute to Terence McKenna. He just said, it's not a war on drugs, it's a war on personal freedom. Keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind at all times. Terence McKenna thought that it was a humongous travesty to the human race that mind-altering substances weren't all legal. Like, how can you put a limit on my mind? Like, it's my mind. Why am I not allowed to discover the boundaries of my own mind? Right? It's a strange thing when you think about it that way. Guys, I'm loving that beat so much. Guys, can't you just tell when it's Tool? It's like if they I don't know. There's something about, like, if I'd never heard this song before, which I haven't, this is my first interaction with this song, I know that it's Tool because of the way they blend sound. Like, they have a signature, and it's difficult to say what it is. It's not just the time signatures, which are wild and crazy, and it's not just like sometimes they mess with like a African drum sounds, but it's like, it's almost like there's like a wafting, like waves to their music. It's difficult to describe. Grinning wide and comforting me with its 3 warm and wild eyes. That doesn't sound comforting to me. That sounds crazy. Talk to me, please. I'm sorry, fam. Just listen to the lyrics, though. On my back and tumbling, right? This almost seems like a psychedelic high. He's like, because the thing is, if you've ever been on high dose psychedelics, if you're on your back and tumbling, meaning I'm laying still, I'm in a still, calm position, but I feel like I'm doing cartwheels backwards. And to anyone who hasn't had the experience, I'm already probably demonetized just for, YouTube doesn't get me. But it's the best possible way. I don't mean to, freak anybody out. Let me know in the comments if you concur. Guys, I want to say about Maynard's Scream in particular, because I deal with heavy metal on this channel on a regular basis. And I love the heavy metal journeys that I've been on. But Maynard's Scream is kind of one of the most violent. There's like a grudge in it. There's an anger in it. There's a grittiness to it. Whereas a lot of people's Scream is just kind of like blood curdling and meant to kind of like snap you out of it, kind of off guard, But the anger, Maynard screams like I imagine Wolverine would if he like busted in your door, you know what I'm saying, and caught you with his girl. Fam, I ask a lot, and I'm going to ask again. For those of you who have been to Tool shows, if I go to a Tool show, and I would love if this song were done. This is my kind of jam, because I respect substances, respectfully. When this kind of Selah moment is going down, with the like, I imagine the atmosphere, and what I'm imagining, I just hope matches, reality. There's a Pussifer show coming to Seattle pretty soon. I hope to be at, but I definitely want to see Tool. Guys, what is up with these monstrous distortions, right? It's like they're peaking the audio levels on purpose to try to give us this sense. And this is kind of what I mean by, like, Tool beginning with this album to go in this really esoteric, psychologically disturbing direction. It's almost like they wanted at this point their audience to feel a little bit uncomfortable, as if what they're experiencing is more than just a rock concert, right? This is the start of that stuff. This album, I mean. You hear that? No, I gotta hear that again, buddy. Come on, talk to me, please. A child's rhyme. Yeah. Uh-huh. A child's rhyme stuck in my head. It said that life is but a dream. I spent so many years in question to find I've known this all along. Fam, children, like so many of the sages, I mean, you take Jesus, take any of the great philosophers, children understand something that adults don't. Remember, Maynard said, black then white are all I see in my infancy. Red then yellow then came to be, reaching out to me, lets me see. I memorized that as kind of a key to remembering the Fibonacci sequence, right? I mean, that was just, peak brilliance of Maynard's lyricism. But children understand. They kind of have an understanding. It's like, oh, I can change my environment to whatever I want. I can climb under the table at the restaurant and pretend that I'm in a fort, right? I can change my environment to suit the desires of me as an agent. And merrily, merrily, life is but a dream. It's a child's rhyme, but it turns out to kind of be more true. We take it for granted. We teach children to exchange their floodlight for a spotlight. And that spotlight is, it helps us to solve our goals. But it's not as fun, right? And nor is it necessarily as true about the world. You know what I mean? We teach children to be so goal-oriented that they lose that life is but a dream,
Came out to watch
came out to watch you play. Why are you running? I've missed you so much. What is he saying that he missed? Because he says, I knew all along. And that's kind of the nature of an insight. The reason that an insight feels like, it's like, oh yeah, right? It feels like an aha moment, like you've expanded. You get bigger, you fill your chest up, right? It's like, I knew all along. This is something, the reason it makes you feel bigger is because that insight connects a lot of things you already knew before. Maynard says, I find I've known this all along. So he says, it's good to see you. I've missed you so much. This thing that I always knew I had the potential to become, right?
Shrouding all the ground around me is this holy crow above me, black as holes within a memory, blue as our new second sun. I stick my hand into the shadow and pull the pieces from the sand, which I attempt to reassemble. See just who I might have been. I do not recognize the vessel, but the eyes seem so familiar, like phosphorescent desert buttons, singing one familiar song.
Guys, if you don't think I'm gonna run that poem back, you're crazy.
Pull the pieces from the sand,
Pull the pieces from the sand.
which I attempt to reassemble. See just who I might have been. I do not recognize the vessel.
Wait a second. Is he talking about the dissolution of dissociation? Is he talking about the melting away of the ego? To pull the pieces from the sand, which I attempt to reassemble, see just who I might have been. It's crazy. It's almost like he's speaking from the perspective of someone who is experiencing ego death. It's like, I can't find a way to put together the pieces of who I thought I was before this state. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments.
But the eyes seem so familiar, like phosphorescent desert buttons, singing one familiar song.
So fam, in my estimation, and correct me if I'm wrong, the third eye is that which sees no distinction between the agent and the arena, right? The one that recognizes that we're all just one thing, pretending to be many things. That's what the third eye sees. The third eye sees past the play that we're putting on. It sees past the drama into the oneness, right? But to pry open your third eye means that it's very difficult to stay into that understanding, right? The ego wants to preserve its own reality, right? The ego wants you to, to hate the people that screw you over and to plot revenge and to sacrifice the present for the past and the future. And so, well, what about this person that did this to me? And, what if they do it again? And, I have to dedicate a piece of myself to the future and a piece of myself to the present, to the past, and I don't have much time for the present. So saying prying open my third eye means I have to abandon this egoic self, right? And he says, came out to watch you play. Why are you running away? Is he talking to his true self? Right? It's like, man, why is it so hard to stay in this mode where I see other people as sharing in my being, right? Love is the felt recognition of our shared being. Shout out to Rupert Spira. That's my take. Prying open my third eye. Guys, you know why I think Tool has that strange time signature with their beats? Is because it seems like one continuous thing. Usually if you're doing that 4-bar ting, ting, my brain can get a sense of what the beginning and the end is. But when Tool does this, it's like doom down doom ding ding doom doom ding doom ding ding doom doom. It's like your brain gets so tired of trying to figure out where the beginning and where the end is that it stops playing that game and just decides that, okay, this is one thing that is just for a brain like mine that's so used to the regular time signature. I love that Tool decides to break the mold on that when it comes to the drums, because it does so much more for the song and for, you know. Yo, listen to me, man. I say this all the time. This is my favorite Tool song, though. And listen, I know I say that. I say that a lot. But Third Eye is it. Third Eye is my favorite Tool song, and it's not going to change this time. At all. And here's why. He says, I thought you were hiding from me. And you thought that I had run away. Right? There's this problem. It's a problem that atheists posit against theists, and I consider myself an apologist, so I've heard it a lot. The divine hiddenness problem. It's like, why is God hiding? Right? Why is God in hiding? And the thing is, it's not that God is hiding. From your perspective, God is hiding. From God's perspective, you're running away. Right? You have lost yourself in things. Right? By things, I mean mental objects, physical objects, and sensory objects. You think the whole world is a bunch of objects and you're a subject in a world full of objects. But when your third eye opens, you realize that the line you draw between yourself as an agent and your environment as an arena is arbitrary. The lines you draw between causes and effects are arbitrary, right? You are part of this vast oneness. And then you realize, oh my gosh, God wasn't hiding, right? It's just good to see you again, right? I've always knew that you were here, and I was just caught up in this lucid dream, where I was just defining things by how useful they were to me, right? We see all things as a landscape for action. Everything comes with some kind of action you're supposed to do. This chair is a sitting thing. This microphone is a speaking thing. But man, when you settle in and your third eye opens, you see that God was never hiding in the first place. Oh, Maynard is my fellow mystic. Oh, 100%. See, family, I'm a religious man. This could be a church service. This could be a church sermon that he just preached. And now this is the celebratory dance afterwards. You always celebrate. Like once you find God and God is like, you're not hiding, God's not hiding, you're not running. There's a celebration, right? The reason you do the celebration is because that triggers an altered state from the dancing, from the jumping, right? It puts something in your brain. It's like, remember this moment. Remember how to get back. Set a neural pathway back to God, right? Please cook. Please cook. Oh, God. Fam, hear me out. Hear me out. I think prying open my third eye, and I'm not kidding, that is all of human life. All of human life is a perpetual attempt of the ego to destroy itself. It's a really weird thing. Because the ego doesn't truly exist. Once you focus on it, once you're truly present, the ego dissolves. It's only when you identify with a transient thing, right? And the ego is not evil, right? It's very useful. It's just, it can become a dog when you really, really think that's what you are. And so, there's an extent to which I truly believe that everything anyone does, even if it seems to be evil, even if it's like somebody just, somebody ran through my car, while I was asleep and stole a bunch of, all of my change, to exchange it for drugs. They stole my radio, right? Even things like that are a desperate attempt to come back, right? This is Nicomachean ethics. Nicomachus was the son of Aristotle. I mention this on the channel all the time because I'm a virtue ethicist. Aristotle believed that eudaimonia was the goal of all human beings, that everyone was trying to establish peak flourishing, that every action, if you continue to ask why you did this, why? Well, why'd you do that? Well, in order to do this. Well, why'd you do that? In order to do this. If you keep asking why in a backwards chain, you'll eventually reach eudaimonia. I did it to flourish. I did it to be happy, right? Prying open my third eye. It's the prying, right? The struggle, because the ego wants to establish itself. It wants you to think it's real. And when you are looking for God, your ego has nowhere to hide.